Oh, we're live.
And we are live and we are off to the races. Hi, this is TJ Anderson, Mr. Grassfed. TJ Anderson, joined with co-host of the first official Google Hangout on Air called the Health Hacker Hangout, joined with Anthony Balduzzi.
What's up?
What up? So this is our second attempt of doing our first Google Hangout on Air today. We just tried earlier and we had a lot of feedback. We had a lot of fun with it, did we not?
We'll show people that one later.
We will. That'll be outtakes. You bet. And so you are watching the first of many weekly Sunday Google Hangouts that Anthony and I intend to co-host together for you and for us, really, to create a chance for us to come together before the upcoming week. As most of you all probably know, you go through your Sundays and you're preparing for your week ahead, and you have your rituals, and you might go to the store that day, you might go to church, you might hang out with family, might read, etc. At the end of the day, we're all preparing for something coming the next week. And so our idea, Anthony and I had, was to come together, him and I, and shoot the shit, record it, and invite a bunch of people to hang out with us. And so the Health Hacker Hangout was born.
Right.
Our good introduction there, Anthony?
It's beautiful. It is everything. We hit everything that we wanted to hit. Yeah, basically it's just a space for us to talk about like the relevant health stuff that's not only going to prepare us for the next week, but that's on our minds and our hearts, and to collaborate and create something awesome every Sunday. So this is week number 1. We are so pumped to be doing this, and TJ's gone. TJ,
I'm gone?
No, you're not. You're here.
My audio is gone. I'm just sitting here chilling, got the knee up, and yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, so I mean, really to kick this one off, I think as we talked about off air, was we really just kind of wanted to discuss, introduce ourselves more or less. I mean, a lot of people here that are listening are going to know one of us personally, but it'd be nice to kind of hear, a background on why you got so passionate about health, fitness, wellness, and helping others achieve maximum vibrant, beautiful health. I'd like to share that as well. And I think that'd be a good sounding board for really like the mission behind why we're doing this on Sundays, besides the fact that we get to hang out with each other, which is just, beautiful. But yeah, so fill me in, Mr. TJ. Why are you so awesome at life and health and fitness, and why the Health Hacker Hangout?
Boom. My why for health in general, as you were saying, like why are we so passionate about health? And so we do it in our work, which we'll talk more about in a second, like the what of our work. But my why started about 4 or 5 years ago, seeing the stress that my parents had running their own business and how it impacted their health. And so that kind of woke me up to what's possible in taking care of ourselves and our health. I started learning more and more, and there's so much potential that we have as individual human beings to take control or personal responsibility, as we talk about inspiring people here, Anthony, to become health hackers. And like, we got to have the conversations that, people are, might be afraid of having, right? Like admitting that they don't know something about the human body or nutrition, et cetera. And so the Health Hacker Hangout was born from you and I coming together after the work we've been doing in our own personal health and in the health of the people that we serve. And so honestly, the term health hacker came to me one night. I'll never forget the night. The sun was out and it was a long walk on the beach. Actually, no, it's a play, to be quite frank. Hacker, I mean, that's a little bit of an overused term nowadays, right? You would say, Anthony, a little bit of buzzword, maybe.
That's a buzzword.
Yeah.
It's not a bad one, but it's a buzzword.
It's not a bad one. It's a buzzword. It just is what it is. And the idea kind of came when I started to write my first book that will be released here in the next quarter. called The Art of Health Hacking. And so what it means to become a health hacker is what I started to write about and how we go about hacking our health and reclaiming like personal responsibility for that. And so, and one of the biggest parts for me in my own life and my health. So I went through college, overweight, poor health, and that kind of that journey for me to find my own optimal health was created by community, by like-minded people coming together and surrounding themselves with other people that have the same intention to focus on their health, and because of how it impacts every other area of their life. So, and that's kind of what our vision is with the Health Hacker Hangout, is it not?
Beautiful. Now I want to dig one layer deeper into that word hacker, because, you know, we called it a buzz term, but really there's like so much power in kind of what we've talked about framing, really just like someone who hacks. You know, it almost feels like a couple things to me. One, it feels a little bit like hackers have this kind of occult superpower kind of knowledge to be able to get inside and affect beautiful change with information that they know. But it also kind of implies, and as we've seen, like the biohacking and all the stuff that's happening in the health space, it implies maximum leverage, simplicity. Like, how can we take the biggest bang for your buck strategies and get in there and affect maximum leverage over our health? So it's cool. You know, I'm a medical student, right? 4th year medical student, doctor in a couple months. Like, I've had to study everything about the human body, all the stuff I didn't even want to know about. But people out there, you know what I mean? Like everything. But the thing is, like, you don't need to know all that stuff. You don't need a PhD in biochemistry to be able to be vibrantly healthy. You just need to know the hacks, and you need to know those high leverage things, the things that are actually actionable. So I think that's like a big intention that both of us are bringing to this, is like, obviously we're going to be hanging out, sharing the why, talking the shit, and just having an amazing time. At the same time, giving those high leverage things that people can actually implement. Like, you learn this on Sunday, test it out, and for a week, come back and tell us, right?
Exactly. And what you just shared towards the end there, testing it out, that's part of the health hacker mindset, if you will, that exploratory experimentation mindset, and to see different changes in your health that you would consider making as an experiment that you can then learn from. And so to your point earlier about like around maximizing, like almost like, so what came up for me was the 80-20, like, right?
80-20, baby.
How can we 80-20 this? Or heck, how can we 90-10? Like, you know, let's keep it going. Let's 99-1 that, you know? But anyways, you're right. And and I think the theme is to simplify health and health behavior change, as you were alluding to. So, I guess with that being said, like, you know, there's a lot of different podcasts out there. There's a lot of content, right? So like, one of the themes of my book, Anthony, is like, we've never had so much information, science, or technology ever before in our entire life.
Yeah.
And we don't lack those things to live healthy. We lack the art to know how to use those things.
Beautiful, man. The art, not the science. Yes.
Totally. And so like adopting like that creative mindset, like, yes, science is important. A little bit of like knowing a little bit of the science can help to give us context to deepen our reason why for trying a ketogenic diet, for example, or reducing our sugar intake. But we don't have to know those deepest layers. And that's what I feel like my intention is, and where I'm feeling called is kind of, and you might be on the same page, which the work you're doing at the Fit Father Project, as it relates to, you know, not sharing everything around like the science, like biohacking sometime might get into, like the movement and conversations around biohacking go super deep on the science. You know, so how does that resonate with you and the work you do?
Beautifully. And I mean, I'll just, as an example, our best-selling product at the Fit Father Project is called the Fit Father No Think Meal Plan. No Think Meal Plan. And really the position of that product is, hey, look, we're going to just take all the complication out of this thing, and we're going to give you the behavior-based plan that you can actually stick to, that's sustainable, that you don't need to know why necessarily we're doing all this crazy combining and stuff. And it doesn't feel like anything. It's just all built in. It's behaviors based. And that's really the art of good nutrition. And we can talk freaking forever for that. But basically, to your point, I am on that ship. I am your first mate on that ship. We're doing that, man, fully. It's the right ship to be on, because we need less complication. We need less information overload. We need more action steps. And if we can be a part of your journey every week, everyone out there, God, like my week's fantastic. Greatest gift you can give me on a Sunday is give you the chance to maybe share a couple tidbits that I've learned over the past 15, 20 years of doing this stuff.
Dude, 100%. 100%, and that's one of so we fear, like a wise man once told me, like, we fear what we don't know. And sometimes we even fear admitting that we don't know something. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I think one of the intentions that we're on the same page with here, that we really want to cultivate at our Health Hacker Hangouts, is an intention of like acceptance of where you're at, like right now in your health, in your understanding of particular topics, and knowing that we're all on a different like health spectrum, right? And sorry about the call, but and on that spectrum, like, it's okay to be where you're at right now. In fact, you are meant to be exactly where you're at. And as you look to consider like learning something new, having the courage to admit that you don't know something is what can help. At least for me, it's helped me like overcome the fear, which has been holding me back. If fear is the enemy, courage can help overcome that.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? So that's something that I think is really important for us to drive home. We're going to talk on topics that, like, we're not experts on, mm-hmm. but we know a fair amount about. Yeah. And the whole idea, like in my mind and my heart, is that, we don't lack the health experts in this country, in our world. We lack the self-experts. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
That's what it would be really rad if we could inspire some more self-experts in this world.
Yeah. So self-experts. And I think that's what also makes this different than another podcast. Go out, listen to JJ Virgin's podcast, Dave Asprey's podcast. Like, those are great. But this is like us actually coming together as a community of health hackers, playing around. This is our playground to really distill and take that information and make it fun, make it actionable, and do some great stuff with that. So beautiful, man. 100%.
Fun and actionable. Boom. I'm so glad you just said that. Right. Mm-hmm. Like I was doing a workout. So I'm in Marina Del Rey, LA.
Yeah.
Right now, we're here for the Men Tour, Mastermind and Photo Shoot, which is a national male teen empowerment tour. And I was doing a workout this morning, and I was just on the beach, like having fun. And I shot a video and posted on Facebook. And if we can't make our health journeys or fitness fun, like if we don't bring in like intentionality on that, like shit, like when I led insanity classes, like they had to be fun, or like it wasn't going to work, because I had tried so hard back in the day to like go after things that, because I thought it was supposed to be hard work, right, Anthony? I mean, like
it's a problem in the fitness industry. Yeah. I mean, the boot camp mentality is dying and dead, I mean, it really is, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But it's totally, but the CrossFit space, and I mean the Olympic lifting, and I know like you're really big on that, and I am too, not on the level that you are, but it's a balance between like pushing thyself to that next level, mm-hmm. And going too far. One other thing I wanted to mention, you're talking about like how we're different, how this is going to be different.
Yeah.
Is that we are inviting other people to contribute, right? Other podcasts aren't really live, and some have a Q&A element to them, but it's not live. And so we've chosen this platform, Google Hangout on Air, as our platform of choice because of the live ability, because of the ease of use with technology. And so I think that's that's something that will really separate this and to be beyond a podcast and like a webisode, right? Like
we're literally, you're going to be here with us and we're going to be here with you just as much. You know, this is a two-way street. You know, you're not even consuming content, you're consuming an event, and you're creating an event, not even consuming. It's both sides of that coin. Yeah. Beautiful. And I kind of want to reframe too. One more word that really started to speak to me about a year ago, was the idea of recreation. Which we used to think of a lot as we were kids, recreation, which really means recreation in a sense too, which is what we're trying to do with our bodies. But that word recreation is something I want to keep on the forefront of our minds as we go through this with health hacking, because it has that element of just like, it's fun. You're recreating in the process of that journey, right? For fun, you're recreating yourself. So, I mean, it's also a fun play on words, but it says a lot. I mean, there are people that are intrinsically driven by Olympic lifts, the high velocity, the intensity of that. And those people will recreate and recreate optimally in that environment. There are people that just, getting out in nature is what recreation is. And they're going to recreate optimally in that. That's the self-hacking. That's why we're going to be like the Bruce Lee of this. We're going to be fluid. We're going to roll with the punches, no styles, every style. You know what I mean? So that's really what we're bringing to this for sure. That kind of philosophy and perspective. Like, I come from a hardcore fitness, bodybuilding, powerlifting background, and I love that. You're going to see me in the gym when I'm 90 doing that. It's not for everybody. It's for me. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful because, I've gone through the self-experimentation. I know that works for me. And yeah, so you can definitely lend perspective on that stuff as well too.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Great point. Great point. So let's chat for a little bit about what we've been up to in our health and what we've got going on. And I'm wondering if I'm working on a little bit of a story that from this weekend of some ways that I've tried to share some things that I've learned and have health conversations like out in public with friends. But I'm wondering if you have any cool stories or anything you've got going on, Anthony, that you want to dive into or chat about.
Yeah. You lead us off, but absolutely. I'll give you a million different stories.
Sweet. So it started yesterday morning. We had our mastermind over breakfast at organic, like tasty, healthy restaurant, Amara, I think, in Pasadena is the name of it. And they had grass-fed ruminant animals, bison and beef, and I pulled out my XCT oil from Bulletproof.
Yeah, you did.
My meal came. In fact, actually, I left it in the car. Okay, and I had run out to the car and get it, and I started sprinkling it on my food.
And there's a lesson in there too, by the way. I mean, you're unapologetically, amazingly in your game. Doesn't matter what. You pour the MCT oil on. Carry on. I just think that's beautiful. I love that.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, XCT is what Bulletproof calls it, and I'm looking it over. It's over there on the counter, but I don't need to like show it. And not a product pitch right now, but so the MCT, medium chain triglycerides, which is highly concentrated coconut oil. If you're not familiar with it, friends, and we'll dive into, I'm sure, that topic more and the benefits of MCT oil. But yeah, so I poured the MCT on the food, and I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. I didn't like boast about it. I didn't try to sell people on it. All I did was do me, and people were asking questions. Guy to my left, guy to my right, and then all of a sudden, like after they asked a few questions, I shared a little bit, and they wanted some. They wanted to try it, and they poured it on their food. And the reason I shared that story is that that's an example of how we can bridge intentionality into how we communicate and how we show up about things that we start to learn about and that we're passionate about and that we would really just love other people to learn about and try and experiment with because we've seen the benefit and the power. And if we can add intention around how we communicate those passionate plays in our life, like people will receive us much better, and they won't shun you out, and they'll be open. They'll be more open to receiving something because of how you show up to them. And that's something that was really impactful for me. I never used to be that way, right? I used to be really pushy. How about you, Anthony? Like, how's that resonate with you?
Totally. I mean, I think when you get into health and fitness and there's an initial fiery, passionate phase, it's kind of like a new relationship, right? Everything's intense. You're like, neurochemistry's firing and you're like, you want to force everyone to do everything because you know how damn good it is. You want to share that passion, that love. And as you said, it can be very off-putting. You know, it depends on what your family's like. I come from an Italian family, so we can put up with a good deal of that.
No, Balduzzi, you're not Italian.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. So I think after, I was like that. I started my health journey when I was 10, very young age. So I was like that from 10 to 13, almost militant, ragging on my friends all the time for eating shit. And my friends were ragging me back. I remember in high school, they would take my giant gallon jug of water and they'd fill it with Sprite because they thought it was hilarious that, I would drink the Sprite. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, because I was pushy and very passionate about getting people to make that kind of change. But the thing is, a receptive, open heart that comes from their vantage point of curiosity, of genuinely seeing a guy like you, TJ, where you clearly practice what you preach. And it's not the physical body. It's not just the physical body. It's like the presence and the clarity and the energy, like all this stuff. Like they see that, man, there's so much integrity in that they're like, I want what that guy's on. And that's beautiful. So I think my energy has also gotten a lot more subdued in that sense. However, I'm like you, and I will always have something crazy in my mason jar that I'm carrying around, some kind of crazy herbal loose leaf tea. It's a beautiful conversation starter. People want to know, hey, dude, why are you carrying a 32-ounce mason jar around? Oh, well, I'm actually not that into plastic. Oh, really? Explain. Tell me more. And it opens up, a two-way conversation. So all the time with that stuff, and pacing the amount of information as you're trying to change those around you. I like to identify especially when I'm working with clients, those high leverage activities where if I can help somebody do one or two things that don't overwhelm them, but lead to a tremendous noticeable difference, that opens the floodgate. Those early results, that early change opens a floodgate for more intense stuff. Right. So, I mean, like often
Yes.
Momentum, right? And so this is a scalable process. And listen, we're talking in the frame of right now coaching others, but it's the same exact way with coaching ourselves, especially when we know there are 15 to 30 different things that we want to implement into our health routines. Oh God, I gotta sit less. I want to get one of those standing desks. I got to do some yoga. I got to get better at meal prep. I know I should be drinking more green tea. I got to get to bed earlier and get those lights out of my room. We like all these crazy things. So we also got to know there's like it's okay to take a pace and to be very intentional about the pace of those things, those high leverage things, and build them slowly over time. And that's why I take clients who are like freaked out about building what I call perfect plates or like well-made non-processed foods to then 3-4 months later are doing 24-hour fasts and all this stuff that they would have been like, if I would have told them off the bat, they were like, hell no, Anthony, you crazy dude, get the hell away from me. Like not a chance. So yeah, it's a gradual creeps up on you all of a sudden, bam, it's beautiful how that process works.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So do you have an example of a client that you've recently done that with? Or
oh yeah, especially through the holidays. I had a couple clients. I had a client named Don and a client named John. Both them, those guys they were in their 260, 270 pound range, and they'd struggled to lose weight for a long time. They were like 55 and around 60 respectively. I want to talk about Don too, because this is kind of cool. Don lives in Arizona where I live. His family lives in Texas. Don's like a super busy guy. And we basically, when we started working, we were working together. He's like, Anthony, look, I don't actually have time for exercise. And I'm like, cool. All good. We're going to meet you where you're at. We're going to work it. So we worked nutrition for 3 months but eventually got him doing some daily walking. But Don lost about 45 pounds. And the cool thing about this was that his family hadn't seen him. So when he went back for Christmas, like they had a new dad. It was tremendous to hear his story of like going home, the first time his wife had seen him in 3 months, kids, new dad, new body, just based off nutrition. So yeah, I mean, we can get into the nitty gritty if you'd really like, but I just like the concept of that stepwise change process. Food is almost always the first answer, and we can always break that down into different high leverage activities within the category of food itself. But I think a big objection that I see with the men I work with at the Fit Father Project, as well as anybody, is that there's a huge objection around, I don't have time to exercise, don't have time to do that, and that's great. You don't have to start there. Let's start with food.
100%. I love that you said that. Yeah. But if they want to start with exercise, you play off of that.
You can start there too.
Create clarity to make sure that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
We don't say, no, you shouldn't do this, right? We do this.
It's fluid like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Got a friend I want you to say hi to. So I told you I was staying at my buddy's place. I think I might have already mentioned this. Javon.
Where's that big sexy man? There he is.
What up,
this guy? Dude, how are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, man. I gotta reach out to you. We gotta have a little stick session.
We gotta have one of these of our own. As fun as this is to have TJ, we should probably cut him out and do our own. Yeah. Hey, congratulations on the mastermind. I heard it kick butt.
Yeah, it went really well, man. Had a good time. We had a really good time.
This guy flies to Australia in
A few hours.
24 hours.
Dude, really? Where are you going?
I'm going on a 6-city speaking tour. New Zealand,
East Coast?
Fiji.
East Coast of Australia?
It's 6 cities. So we're going to Auckland in New Zealand. We're going to Brisbane, Byron's Bay, Sydney. I can't think the other cities.
Absolutely beautiful, man. I've been toying around with the idea of doing a 6-week backpack Australia later this year. So I'm going to need to pick your brain on the beauty of that.
All right, let's do it. Do it. Man. I'll shoot you an email or a Facebook message. We'll set up a call for maybe next week or the week after.
Beautiful.
Once I get settled in, all right?
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Boom. Thanks, JB. Have a good call.
That was a beautiful cameo. Can't believe we got the privilege, everyone.
I know. Everyone just got Javon Langford.
The Javon.
Yeah. Check him out over at Bot Life on YouTube. And
Javon shoots fantastic videos. Fantastic videos.
Right.
Wise beyond his years. I mean, if I'm 90, I have a quarter of that guy's wisdom. Yeah. Anyways.
So let's get the show on the road. Let's get closer to closing up here. I think Javon, you need the microphone. Yeah, he needs the mic. How do we? What's a good way to a call to action? So you mentioned at the beginning, like, we want to make this fun and interactive, and which it will be in the future when we have more people on, and we want to have. We want to create clarity, help people create clarity for what they're going to take action on in the coming week.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Just spitballing. Little activity I used to do journaling wise in the evenings, where every evening I'd write down 5 things that were successful for that day.
Yeah.
5 things I'm grateful for, and 5 things I'm planning. So I don't know. I mean, we can riff off this, but it could be cool. We've talked about the theme of meeting yourself where you're at with your health, integrating those successes because we've all had them, and also at the same time respecting that horizon of where we want to go. So maybe a little journaling activity that would definitely serve anyone who did that would be 5 things that they've been successful with their health. Be that started some kind of exercise habit, be that, cut out the fast food. I don't know what it is for you, TJ, or me. I can write those down. 5 successes, 5 things we're grateful for with our health. And maybe 5 things we want to kind of focus on working on. And the cool thing about the fact that this is live is those last 5 things we want to work on. This is stuff that we can specifically talk about while we're here. Because there's going to be a lot of overlap that people have, be that, more physical stuff like fat loss, or be that more, brain cognitive function, whatever those 5 things are, we can specifically tackle those topics to make these like fun, but also super useful. So how does that sound or feel to you, my friend? The 5-5-5 plan from Health Hacker Hangouts.
Yeah. So I was muted.
Oh, you were muted the whole time?
No. Like, I could hear you, but I'm muted now. And so,
because that was good what I just said, dude.
Dude, I heard it all. Like, okay. yeah, for sure. What you just said was 100%. Wasn't just good; it was great. And I want to affirm it. I like it. It's an option for people.
It's an option.
And one of the more important parts of that I want to highlight that people take for granted is playing off of your successes and celebrating something that you're already doing well in your health is the best way to begin. Like, so coaching conversation flow, which you're probably aware of and obviously familiar with the importance, Anthony, of playing off of successes in someone's health and lifestyle. But it creates momentum and it starts you from a positive place where you can only build from and gets you in a positive frame of mind. And so often when people think about change, they think about what they have to do, not what they've already done.
Yeah, that integration is powerful. It's like the bedrock for all future success. And we don't take enough time to do that. And things are working damn well with your health right now. I don't care where you're at, like everybody, things are working really well. Always room to improve, which is also why we're hacking. However, yeah, beautiful, beautiful point.
100%. Great point. Doctor knows best.
Dr. Doozy.
Yes, Dr. Doozy.
Yeah, so this was fantastic. Good little first hangout. Again, Sundays when we do these weekly, we're just so excited to hang out with you guys more.
Come prepared with an open mind, open heart, and maybe a pad of paper, and just look to have fun, chat, and support each other.
Beautiful, man.
Great.
Well, hey, you have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll have a beautiful rest of mine, and I'll see you next week.
Amen.
All right,
Amen. All right. Get outside. Have fun.
Peace.
Stay healthy.